close out the decade, let's take it to October in Boston, where there were a total of 100 murders that year. Furrier manager Carol Stuart was driving his pregnant wife Carol from a birthing class through a black neighborhood, Mission Hill, when a raspy-voiced man robbed and shot them at a red light. Charles got a stomach wound and Carol was shot in the head. The 30-year-old called 911 on his car phone.
Okay, has your wife been shot as well?
Yes.
Next to him in the car, his pregnant young wife, Carol Stuart, lay dying of gunshot wounds.
My wife is stopped gurgling. She stopped breathing.
All right, Chuck, I'm going to get assistance to you, buddy. Open the door.
Charles passed out on the line, and William Shatner and the TV crew for Rescue 911, a new reality series, was in the vicinity and captured the Stewarts getting medical attention, guaranteeing that this case would become national news. Carol died, and her son, born by C-section 2 months premature, also died. Boston police flipped the city upside down, implementing stop and frisk, looking for black men as Charles Stuart laid in a hospital bed for 6 weeks, and he received 2 operations. The mayor, Raymond Glenn, ordered 100 extra cops to search the streets. Recalled an observer, during those first few days, African-American men were lined up on street corners with their pants pulled down as officers searched their trousers and underwear for drugs, guns, or any excuse to arrest them. Black men were being rounded up and strip searched naked. Community leaders estimated that starting in October 1989, there were more than 150 stop and frisk searches in the neighborhood each day through November. Others mentioned their homes being unconstitutionally searched. Governor Michael Dukakis, who had been blamed for the escape of and subsequent rapes committed by furloughed prisoner Willie Horton, sat there at Carol's funeral and ate his food, while Boston continued its manhunt and citizens called for a reinstatement of the death penalty. The media, meanwhile, speculated on the squalor and violence of black neighborhoods, and the case was compared to the Central Park Five.
Harassing all my friends and my family and stuff, that was ridiculous.
Anyway, I do feel that they're overreacting as far as going to people's house, knocking on their door, taking them out. I mean, that's really uncalled for.
She was right. That is the only reason. If it would have been a black family, that would have been nasty. And they wouldn't have been zooming here and there, all going crazy if it was a black person.
Yeah, they're getting kind of carried away, you know? I know a couple people who got shot before, and hey, they didn't go about it. It wasn't even on the news.
While some citizens and politicians began calling for a return to the death penalty, police eventually settled on a suspect named William Bennett, who fit the description of the raspy-voiced man who had robbed and shot the young urban professional and his pregnant wife. Bennett was a career criminal with 38 arraignments and 60 arrests confirmed by his own lawyer, including shooting a cop in the 70s, for which he served 5 years. So police really wanted to make him fit. Charles identified Bennett as the robber in a lineup. The problem with this story was that Charles Stuart had made the whole thing up. During that widely televised phone call to 911, he had never spoke his wife's name or tried to comfort her as she died. A few siblings knew, and somebody revealed Charles had expressed a desire to kill her before to other relatives. One friend told the New York Times that Mr. Stuart was upset that his wife had refused to get an abortion, and he was worried that she would not go back to her job as a lawyer after giving birth, lowering the couple's income. Charles may have been a yuppie earning $100,000 a year, but he was born blue-collar and had been making $4 an hour as a short-order cook a decade previously. Charles's brother Matthew, who had agreed to help, came clean in early January 1990. Stuart would die by suicide on January 4th, jumping into the Mystic River just days after spending part of his wife's $83,000 insurance policy payout on jewelry and a $22,000 Nissan Maxima. The Boston police would continue using stop and frisk and never face consequences for their treatment of the people of Mission Hill. William Bennett said the accusation ruined his life and went on to prison for holding up a video store. One good thing came out of the event, though. Carol's brother Carl would set up the Carol Stuart Foundation, which for 25 years helped finance some Mission High School students' college educations. Said Carl, "We always felt that we were victims and so was the black community. What better way to reach across and acknowledge their pain?"